So we're going to be using the Heavenly Harissa sauce today. Mangalitsa pork fillet, rhubarb and ginger chutney, coriander puree, and we've got some wonderful ancient grains, picking up on those kind of superfoods to go with the dish. So we've got the pork fillet. We don't need to trim it up too much. We want the natural fat in there that will render down as we cook it. So we brush the sauce on, and then we're going to allow this to marinate in the fridge for a couple of hours. Roll it in a cling film, keep it nice and tight, get all that flavour kind of permeating into the meat. Right, so we're just going to take the pork out of the cling film. It's been marinating for a couple of hours now, and just remove all of the cling film. Cut it down to fit in the pan. Obviously it's roasted up, you've got a lovely caramelisation in there, a little bit of butter in there just to help it cook, but also the fats are rendering down. And yeah, basting it over, it just helps all that flavour to kind of cook back through the pork, and you know, the heat transfer nice and gently. It's a wonderful tender cut, so you know, we just cook it nice and gentle now, foaming butter, and all that flavour just basting it back over. Right, so these are looking good to come out now. They're nice and firm, ready to rest. That's really, really important, that allow that heat transfer to carry on and cook it perfectly. And just allow it to rest now. Even though it's only a small cut, same principle you do with like a chicken or a Sunday roast, it's the same principle. Allow the meat to relax now, all those flavours to go through the meat. So we've got the rhubarb and ginger chutney. So again, I really want to pick up on those flavours that are in the sauce, a little bit fruity, there's a lot of ginger in there already, so I want to replicate that in another way. Natural acidity from the rhubarb will help to cut through the dish, and of course, right in season. So first thing to go in, garlic, ginger, and some chopped shallot. Again, we're just going to cook that. We don't want any colour, we don't want any bitterness coming out. So we've got the dried apricot, which has just been diced. So that's going into the ginger, the garlic, and the shallot. And then we've got the sweet and sour elements. Local honey. So you've got, again, that natural sugar, that natural sweetness. And then we're going to go into it with Chardonnay vinegar and make it nice. We're going to go in with about 50 ml. So now we're going to add the rhubarb in and just carry on cooking that down until we've got that lovely jammy consistency ready to serve later. So the next element of the dish is going to be the coriander puree. So what I've got here is fresh coriander. It's been blanched in lightly salted water for about 5 minutes, and it's cooked so it's nice and soft. I've left the stalks in there as well, so you get all those nutrients and all the good stuff. That's in the blender pot ready to go. So what we're going to make is just, I've got a shallot, a clove of garlic, and quickly slice this nice and fine so it cooks down nice and quick. And then about half the clove of garlic. We're going to go into the pan, a little bit of butter. So we've got the shallot and garlic in there, nice and fine so that it cooks nice and quick, no colour. I'm going to go in with the spinach, which will cook down really quick, and we're not going to add anything else. The water will come out of the spinach and it will help kind of steam itself. So spinach is cooked down, nice and wilted, nice and soft, because when it blends we want it to go into a lovely smooth puree. We're with a little dash of cream, just help everything bind together in the blender and bring the richness to the dish. So we just cook that out, let that reduce down a little bit. So I'm just working on the ancient grains that are going to go on the plate. So they're the young green wheat that is lightly toasted, and then we just cook that in some seasoned water. So it's lovely, full of nutrition. Again, it's a perfect match, you know, with the dish and the sauce.
So we're going to start with the coriander puree. Nice bit of colour on the plate.
Then we're going to add the ancient grains. Some of the lovely rhubarb and ginger chutney. So we're going to carve the pork. You see that lovely caramelisation from the marinade, from the harissa sauce along the top. Top of the grains. And then to finish the dish, we've got some lovely nasturtium leaves. Again, nice and healthy, picking up on those pepper notes from the harissa sauce. A little micro mustard frills as well. Again, it's all about the flavours carrying on through the dish, kind of all coming together. And then the last thing we're going to go on the dish here is this linseed cracker. And what we've got are these lovely crisps, continuing the grains, continuing that nutritious, and also the texture onto the dish, just to bring it all together. So here we have the Mangalitsa pork fillet marinated in the Heavenly Harissa sauce with ancient grains, coriander puree, and the rhubarb and ginger chutney.